Hello all, Jamie Rogers here from Craftmania, and today we are launching our brand new die of the week. Now, as you know, whenever we bring you a die of the week, these are incredible offers that don't always last very long. So if you like the look of today's offer, please make sure that you grab it as quickly as you can, because our die of the week never lingers very long. Now, before we move on and introduce you to our brand new die of the week, please don't forget to hit subscribe and tap the bell so you're notified of all of our videos here on YouTube. And if you're watching us on one of our other social platforms, please make sure that you have also liked, followed, subscribed, all them sort of bits to wherever you're watching this video, because we'd hate for you to miss out on anything we have going on here at Craftmania. Now then, the die of the week this week is coming to us from Sue Wilson. It is an amazing die set. This is the Montreal set from the Canadian collection. There are 5 dies in this gorgeous ornate oval set. And to be honest with you, I've truly fallen in love with this. It's got so many options on ways we can lay it out and build it up that I think when you actually see the dies and how they break down, you're going to see some of the options you're going to be able to create with this one. But honestly, there's just loads and loads of different variations in which we could be playing with this set. Now, the actual recommended retail price for this die of the week is £14.50. Once again, we've managed to do a little bit of sort of arm twisting on this one, and we're actually saving you more than you're going to be spending. You're going to save £8 off of the recommended retail price of this die, and it is only going to cost you £6.50. So £6.50 is your offer price, recommended retail price £14.50, saving for you here £8 more than you're spending. And we love it when we can say that, because it really means we've rinsed every penny out of this that we can do to give you the best saving we possibly can. Now, if you have already fallen in love with this, even before we've shown you the dies, shown you some inspiration with it, and you just want to go and order it, which I wouldn't blame you if you do, pop onto the website, www.craftmaniacrafts.com. When you land on the website, you will see the menu bar either run across the screen if you're on a desktop, or on a drop-down menu if you're on a mobile device. And in either one, doesn't matter where you are, you'll see Die of the Week. If you give that a little click, it will open up. You will see the picture of the die of the week. Give that a little click and it will open up again. And on that page, you will find not only the die of the week, but you will find all of the bits that are going to be on the cards I'm going to be sharing with you. So whether they're the inks I've used, the stamps I've used, the embossing folders, everything we talk about on the samples will be on that dedicated page for you. So if you fall in love with something else along with the Montreal die, then you're going to be able to find them easily without having to search around the website to find all of the different bits and bobs. Now, if you would like to order this online, then of course we need to talk about our P&P, don't we? So our P&P is really easy. If you spend over £10 and you live within the UK, your P&P is completely free. If you spend less than £10, then your P&P is £2.95, which is still a great bargain, because it means that with this die in particular, you're going to be paying about £9.45 for a die that should be £14.50. So still a huge saving, even if you just want to go just for the die of the week. Now, of course, if you'd like to, whether you spend under £10 or over £10, you can upgrade your P&P to first class, and that is a flat rate of £3.95. If you're watching this from around the world and you'd like to order this die, then of course you can. We send items every corner of the globe as such, internationally, so anywhere and everywhere, every day of the week. So if you'd like to order internationally, no problem. Your P&P is capped at just £10. If it costs more than £10 here at Craftmania, we actually pay the difference for you. If it costs less than £10, then we will refund the difference to you. Being honest with you, it very rarely costs less than £10 because of international shipping. It's extortionate from the UK, but if it does cost less than £10, then we will refund it to you. And if it costs more, we'll pay it for you. We just try to keep it as fair as we possibly can for everybody, wherever you are in the world. We try to do our bit to sort of shoulder the burden of P&P, because who wants to pay out on P&P if we don't have to? So we try our best to help you where we can. On top of this, when you do go onto the website, if you are going to purchase one of these dies or any of the items at Craftmania, please make sure you've logged into your account. If you're logged into your account, you're going to be able to collect your Inner Circle rewards points. For every full £1 you spend, you will receive a point, and then the more points you collect, the more savings you can make, and the higher in the tiers you can move up, so you gain even bigger savings. But have a little look under the menu bar again. There is a Craftmania's Inner Circle rewards banner. Give that a click and it will tell you how it all works. And if you're already a member of the website, you'll be able to log into your account and have a little look and see how your points are doing and how they're adding up. So, okay, with enough chat about me and postage and bits, let's delve on in and have a little look at this actual die, shall we? So as I mentioned, there are 5 dies in this set, and that gives you so many different options because it means that we've got an outside edge, and I love Sue's dies for this. We've got a separate outside edge. So maybe you want to cut an aperture into the window of your card. Absolutely fine to do so. Maybe you then want to start bringing in these other dies and layering them underneath it, making like an invertage tunnel. Great. Maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you want to bring in this filigree panel and you want to nest that inside that one, so you can cut that out and have it as a lacy panel. Maybe you want to cut this as a frame instead. So Sue's thought of that. She's give you the next layer in, so you can go in and cut that out as well. Create that as an open area with a filigree around it. Maybe you want to cut the backing plate to go underneath this filigree panel. So you can cut those two together and create that plate to go under there instead. Maybe you want to create an aperture with a filigree edge around it. So instead of being cut out of your card, you're just going to cut this one panel in with that panel in the middle, creating the aperture, but creating that fretwork around it. Can you see where I'm going with this? So many options. Then on top of that, you've got the next level down. So all of the bits we just mentioned that could be done with these two, you can do the same with these. But of course, it also means that you can leave this one out of the way and you can be putting that one into the inside of here to create an even more lacy panel if that's what you'd like to create. Whether you then choose to cut that out and have it as a panel or cut that in is up to you. Then on top of that, you've got the little oval that goes in the middle. So again, maybe you wish to cut that out and have that as a frame or a little sentiment panel, or maybe you'd like to build this on top of what you've created and actually have that as a sentiment panel on top, or a little picture going on top of there. Then of course, you've got the ability to layer all of these individual pieces. So you might wish to cut that one out with that outside edge, cut this one out with this outside edge, and then choose to use the oval to layer on top of it. So very quickly, and I'm sort of waffling here, but I'm hoping you're getting the idea of just how versatile 5 dies can be for you, because it gives you so many options in how you're going to be able to layer and cut in and cut out with all of the different pieces. Now I've done 7 cards to give you a bit of inspiration here, and this really does just sort of tip the iceberg really, or top the cherry, or whatever the expression is, to what you could be doing with them, because there are so many ways in which you could be building these up. So with this one here, I'm going to bring it in slightly closer for you. I've used an embossing folder in the background. This is one of our ones that of course we stock here at Craftmania, and I've bought in my metallic ink pads and I've just rubbed them over the top of the embossing. So the embossing's on black card. You're going to be able to see some of the blue, some of the silver, some of the different shades of gold coming through, all just roughly layered and sort of rubbed over the top to build up. I've done the same in the background here with the black card as well, just rubbing those ink pads around the edges to sort of bring it down a little bit, bringing that metallic finish, that sort of brushed metal style look running around the outside as well. For the main panel, I have bought in, now let's go through these for you. So we have bought in these pieces here. So we've got all 3 bits. We've got the outside edge, we've got the large filigree panel, we've got the inside edge. I've cut that out of black. That's going to make this top layer running around the frame here. For the panel underneath, I have taken this one out. I've taken this one out. Actually, let's do it that way. Let's get this bit. And I've taken this one and I've cut that out of white. And that's making the panel underneath. I've also chose to use these two together to cut that from white, and that's making the panel underneath the actual frame. And then on top of that, I've used this one and I've cut that out from white, and that's the bit that I've stamped on top of. So hopefully between these, you can see the way that they're coming together to build up and to create that tunneled invertage style, and then giving us the ability to build up on top of it. Really create some depth. Now this is a sentiment from our lovely rose set of stamps, but it could have been all different styles and items that we put on the inside here. And this is one of the bits I love about this die set, is how we can use it landscape or portrait, depending on what we'd like to put in the middle. You know, going off on a different tangent completely, we could have turned this card that way, maybe put a dragonfly in the middle, maybe a butterfly, maybe some steampunk elements if we wanted to keep with the same mats and layers. But there are just so many ways you would be able to build up and create different stylings with this set. And I think that's one of the really fun parts of this, is the different ways in which you're going to be able to create and play and build and really make different styles and looks with this without having to do too much work, because of the die is going to do so much of it for us. So that's card number 1. let's move on to card number 2. So card number 2, we're bringing in our seashell blue cardstock and our decadent ivory card. Now I started off with a panel I already had created. This is using our Cosmos floral panel background, and I've cut it in the decadent ivory. I've layered that onto the seashell blue, and then I layered that again with the same colours, just stepping down through the layers. For the top panel here, I've started off and I've taken this die, the main die, and I've cut that from our lovely ivory cardstock. I've done the same with this one, and I've done the same with the oval, and they are our 3 separate panels. I've then brought in the filigree panels. So I've placed that one into this one into this one, and I've cut those ones out of the seashell blue card. So these we then created those filigree pieces that could be layered up on top of the decadent ivory ones. So you've got decadent ivory in the background, then the layered ones over the top of that. I've stamped best wishes on the top, and I've brought in our Cosmos flower and Cosmos foliage to just build around the sides. Very quick, very simple card. To be honest with you, I think it's this beautiful background that's really done the heavy lifting for me on this project. So it really didn't take a lot for me to just build up and create that focal point. And I mention this because it's really nice sometimes to be able to quickly make your cards. So this one again is one of the panels I already had created. I think I did this on a live maybe, but I'd got this snowflake panel created. So this is our snowflake corner set. I'd placed that into one of our rectangles. This is the fluted edge rectangles, one of the nesting rectangles, and I'd brought in the pierced dot line from the scalloped and pierced rectangle set. So they're separate lines that I've brought in to create the pierced effect. I've brought in the separate corners and placed those on, and I've cut this through using our pearl cardstock. So it's got a lovely little shimmer to it that hopefully you can pick up. Just like the last one, I've done the same, but this time I've done the layers in white for the 3 different panels, and then the blue ones are of course our Night Sky Navy card coming into play. I've added Night Sky Navy underneath the metallic or pearl panel, and I've added some little crystals that I've sunk into. So actually underneath the design here of the corners, not on top, they're literally placed underneath the openings on those to build up. Again, really quick, simple card. Now I know lots of you might have already done your Christmas cards, but of course we've got lots of different corners available. There's butterfly ones, there's regal corners, there's different styles that you could be putting into this if you wanted to, and it's really that corner that sets the tone that we're talking about, frosty thank you. So again, we might not have done our Christmas cards yet. We might want to change out the sentiment from thank you to sort of Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas, something along them lines. And more what I was thinking with this one is after Christmas, when you want to say thank you for all of the presents you've received, that's a really nice simple batch card that you could be making in advance, ready to send out those thank you cards. Or maybe it's that you want to say thank you to whoever invited you round for Christmas dinner, or who hosted for New Year's Eve, or along them lines, or just saying thank you to the people that made that day special. So again, going in with another thank you one this time, but not sort of particular to Christmas. All of them things are going to apply again. Again, maybe it is saying thank you for the New Year's Eve party you went to, or maybe it is saying thank you for the birthday presents you received, or maybe it's something else along throughout the year that you just want to be grateful for and say thank you to. So this thank you is one of our previous dies of the week, and this time I've just used the main filigree panel, so this one here, and I've brought this in with our pierced and scalloped rectangles, and I've taken that, placed it down onto the middle of those dies, sent it through, so we've created this lovely lacy effect running around the edge. And this is what I love about having separate inside and outside edges, giving you that ability to cut them not only into the of course coordinating panels, but also into all of the nested shapes of card that you've got. I think that's just a really cool way to get more value for money out of these. And as a scrapbooker, I can see very easily that had I've chose to put this die into the middle there instead, that would have created such a beautiful frame instead that I could then be placing my photos into. I could even add a little bit of journaling or maybe dates and bits around the sides, and that would work really nicely. So moving on, let's have a little look at this one. So this time I've gone for one of my other dies, and I can't remember the name of this one now, but it'll be on the page for you. This was one of the dies I did with Creative Expressions, and I've brought this in, I've cut this out, I've layered this up on top of our rose petal pink card. I've then brought in the main dies, so again, solid one of this cut in white to be the base to go at the underneath of this, but in between the frame and the top layer. And then on top of that, I've used this one, and this one, and I've cut those out with the outside edge. Let's get this right. Can't go leading you down the wrong path. So those three together, cut from the rose petal pink, and then I've foam padded that on top of the white one that I'd cut with just the outside edge to build up. I've then added in some flowers, some foliage, and a little butterfly to finish this one off. Again, very quick and simple card to create, really nothing complicated here. Just lots of die cutting and building up with some foam pads to create the depth and the drama. Then we're moving on. So this time again, we're talking about cutting into other items, and this really struck me as quite a fun one to do. So these are my nested tile dies. So all I've done is I've taken my nested tile die, I've brought in this central part, and I've cut that out with the little oval in the middle to create the window. Once I'd done that, I was looking around thinking, well, what am I going to put in that oval? What am I going to create with this? What's going to go on the inside of this? And I was very tempted to show you this is more of a Christmas ornament style hanging decoration, maybe do them back to back and put some Christmas bits, some bling, some glitter on there. And I decided actually it really looked nice framing the matching tile with love stamp. So the stamp runs all the way underneath here. I don't think you're going to see it very well, but it's literally a tile panel I'd already got cut out with the with love. But actually by bringing in that oval and just highlighting the sentiment, I thought that worked really nicely. But you can still see the flowers from the rest of the stamp just peeking out from underneath the rest of that sort of filigree opening that we've created. I've then added on a little butterfly. I've done some embossing in the background here using our kaleidoscope stencil, just run that through my machine with a rubber mat. And then I've used the same colours of card running through the layers. So we've got some more pearl card, and then of course we've got our rose petal pink card to sort of team that all together. Then for our last card, our 7th card from the collection, we're going to bring this one in. So what I've got here is a rectangle of card that I've gone ahead and I've stamped in the corners, this beautiful stamp. This is from Rodney the Snowman, and I've just stamped that using our Black Panther, I believe it is, our quick dry pigment ink pad. And I've stamped 4 of those out, and then I brought in the main panel, just the filigree main panel, and I've cut that out of the middle. No edges on this one, just that panel to create that really cool opened sort of fretwork oval in the centre there. I've then of course added my little snowman onto the side here. This again was one of our recent dies of the week. And then for the central part, I've brought in my circle sayings. This is our Merry Christmas circle sayings. And I've cut one out of white, and then I took literally the outside die and I've put this over the top of it, sent it through, and it cut it out, and it gave us this cool sort of edge running around it. And I wanted to then frame that, so I've cut another one of these out of the seashell blue, and then I've placed the Merry Christmas one on top of the seashell blue one, and I've foam padded that on top of the panel. And because it matches in with the filigree sort of frame that we've created, hopefully it doesn't look too odd the way that the sort of Merry Christmas goes off of the edges. To me, that looked really cool, and it gave us another way to use our circle sayings when we start thinking about cutting into them and cutting bits from them, instead of just necessarily using them as a circle. So that shares with you all 7 of the cards I've created for this week's die of the week. Now, I really had great fun playing with these and creating these different looks. And I think when we look over them and we can see how we're going to be cutting into our panels, we're going to be cutting into our other dies, we're going to be building up on top of our frames, we're going to be bringing in our sentiments, we can build these up with our flowers, we can go steampunky, maybe slightly more masculine. It's going to work for Christmas, summer, thank you cards. It's a die set that's going to take us all throughout the year. And when we think of how many options there are with this set between the 5 dies, have a feeling this one's going to prove very, very popular, because it really does have a whole host of options and abilities that are going to be open to you to get creative. So if you'd like to get hold of our lovely Montreal die set, as I say, we do have limited amounts when it comes to dies of the week. There's not a never-ending supply of these. When they're gone, they're gone. So if you're looking at this and you like the look of it, don't dilly-dally. Get this one ordered as quickly as you can, especially at this price. That's a bargain price of just £6.50, especially when compared to your recommended retail price of £14.50. So if you would like to get hold of this, pop onto the website www.craftmaniacrafts.com. Have a little look for the tab that says Die of the Week on the menu bar. Give it a click, it'll take you through. You'll see a picture of the die we're chatting about. Give that a click, it will open up, and not only will that die be there, all of the bits we chatted about. So whether that's the background panels that we were looking at, whether that's these flowers, the butterflies, the snowflake corners, the colours of the cardstock, Everything we're chatting about will be on that page for you, so you'll be able to see them easily and add to your basket if you would like to. Don't forget, if you're in the UK and you spend over £10, your P&P is completely free unless you wish to upgrade to first class P&P. So the minute you're over £10, free P&P for UK, and international P&P is capped at £10. So hopefully everybody can benefit from really value P&P, because that's what we want to do for you. We don't want you paying more than you need to. And don't forget that you can also collect your Inner Circle reward points on your purchase. You're of course going to receive 6 points for this die set, because it's 1 point for every full £1 you spend. The more you spend, the more points you get, the more savings you make. Thank you very much for watching today. I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I look forward to seeing you all again very, very soon. Bye for now.